What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to this episode of CF Talks. My name is Rudy LaRose, and as always, I am in the building tonight as we bring out one of my favorites, one of my favorite tracks, my favorite thing to vibe to. I have to tell you that tonight is going to be power pack. Yeah, I know I say it all the time, but sometimes there's something special. Sometimes there's something brewing. Kind of like in the movie when you see you're in the desert, right? You see the guy in the desert, and then you see this gust of dirt way down the street, so you know there's a car coming, and then you find out it's a 65, 65. What's my favorite car again? 65 Camaro SS. Black on black, you know that type of feeling. That's how I'm feeling right now. So welcome to the show, everybody. If you're watching, make sure in the comment section you put in where you're watching from, what city you're representing. More importantly, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. That's right. Make sure you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, because without that, you cannot see who's commenting. So be sure to do that for us. And finally, if you're watching and you're feeling what we're saying, put in #heart level. #heart level. And we're explaining what we're talking about later. We say that. And of course, if you're watching the replay, put in hashtag replay. But it is an honor and a pleasure to have each and every one of you watching from all over the world. Let's get ready to rumble on this amazing show. And I cannot do that without bringing in some of the experts in this community, the people that hold it down every single week. Y'all already know, all the way from the city where the rodents never sleep. I mean, the mouse gets paid more than us. You know what I'm saying? The dog gets paid, the duck gets paid more than us. You know, all the pets, you know what I'm saying? They get paid more than us. All the way from Orlando, Florida. Make some noise for the Professor Darian Hill in the building, as always. What's going on, champion?
Yeah. What's going on, Rudy? I am in the building with you, brother. And
the guns are blazing.
Yes. I'm really excited to be here for another CF Talks. Man, it's a beautiful thing. Tuesday nights are a special occasion because, as you know, we get to impart some knowledge. And as we talk about knowledge, I love our topic for tonight, man. It's all about why the lack of awareness decreases your value.
That's right.
Why the lack of knowledge decreases your value. So if you're coming on, of course, put #heart level, like Rudy just said. And of course, we're going to keep this train rolling. We have, of course, another one of the Confidence Factor brothers that's going to be joining us tonight. You know, usually is in the background making us look good, but he's joining us tonight on the front stage. Let's go ahead and give a great welcome to the great Lamont Quinn. Bring him up.
What's up, fellas? What's up? I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for the introduction.
Yes. We appreciate you. Always.
You know,
from Baltimore?
Or is it Baltimore? You know,
Baltimore. But I'm in Orlando now. But yes, sir. Glad to be here tonight.
Okay.
Good to have you, brother. And of course, we have someone in our midst who says to us that you cannot continue in life. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you the analogy, right? How many people get into an elevator and they just wondering why they keep going into different levels, but they never press the button? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you get into the elevator, you're like, why am I in the wrong level of my life? But you just never press the button. And so you keep going all these different levels because everybody else getting into the elevator and press the button, but you decide not to. And so this guy, what he talks about leveling up. He talks about what it is to level up in his book. Mr. Author, Mr. Javon Jones in the building.
What's up? Level up. I'm here, as in Rudy LaRose's words. I'm in the building, man. Listen, we here to level up. We here for this beautiful show. I'm here. It's Tuesday. Y'all already know what's going to happen. Salute to you guys. I'm grateful to be able to do this here every week with my brothers here. So,
Yeah, man, it's awesome to be here. And listen, before Darian takes over, I just want to say this. Darian, I apologize, my brother. I didn't mean to break into your house and steal that outfit. My bad. But I just, I mean, I'm still working on that. I'm halfway there, but I had to, brother. I had to steal the white jacket. I had to steal the shirt from the flower shirt joint, the red pant, and the shoes. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna take the socks too, but I left the socks for you, brother. That's all I got to say.
All I gotta say is the Hill family showed up.
Ooh,
The Hill family showed up from top to bottom. When they came into, where was it, Kentucky?
Kentucky, man, Lexington, Kentucky.
When y'all showed up, they was like, okay,
BT
this the Hill right here.
I'm like, that y'all was looking clean, man. I'm looking from head to toe. I'm like, woo! Y'all how many jockeys? Y'all the jockeys? Like y'all holding horses in here? Like what we doing?
All I can see is Darian pulling out in the white Bentley Phantom. You know what I'm saying? In slow motion. You know what I mean? The whole family coming down.
Yeah, well, hey, I appreciate you guys. Of course, we'll talk a little bit more about that. I'll share a little more details after. But as you guys know, we're here in Confidence Factor, the Man Cave. Every single week, we're here to provide some major value, right? Major value. And our mission is really simple. Our mission is empower and impact the lives of over 5 million men. That's right, 5 million men. That's professional men, entrepreneur men, leaders in the community. To do what? To be able to pursue their passion by developing their confidence factor. That's what we are here. We call it Confidence Factor. We believe Confidence Factor is the way you show up, is the way you make an impact, the way you make a difference. And you have to have the right ingredients to be able to have the Confidence Factor. So we have something called our SMART principles. Here's what we believe. We believe, number one, in self-mastery, right? That you got to invest in yourself, your self-image, your self-esteem. Those are critical components. These are foundational components to your overall success. You guys have heard of people that won different things, whether it be lotteries, right? They said 95% of people win the lottery, they lose that money in five years. Why? Because they don't have the foundation, they don't have the right self-image or self-esteem to be able to hold on to that external wealth. So you want to make sure you have that as a key foundation. If you're growing in leadership, if you're growing in your business, if you're growing in your life, that's going to be critical. Number two, of course, is about accountability. That's why this community was here, because one thing we know, and coming from the community of training and development, they said that the odds of getting to your goals increases by 95% when you introduce what? Community and accountability, right? So having people to lock you, to hold you to your word, to hold you to the goals and the dreams that you set out for your life and your business, that's going to be an essential part of the ingredients to help you to get there. And last but not least, of course, you got to have the resources and the tools. So Tony Robbins said that success is two things. Number one is psychology. That's 80% of it. But the other part is 20%. That's the mechanics. You got to have the tools necessary to help you to drive the bus, to be able to drive the car, right? You're a Ferrari going on the road at 100 miles an hour. You got to have the right equipment. And so every single week, we're on here with this CF Talks to bring amazing guests, people who are doing great things in the world, making a big impact. The lessons that they've learned, their stories, they're bringing back to this community to help us to, as Javon said, to level up, to get the right resources and tools and information. As you guys know, we have our mastermind coming up, Unleash Your Riches. Unleash Your Riches. And you may be asking, Darren, riches, are you talking about just money? Nah. What we're talking about is relationships. We're talking about, yes, income. We're talking about contribution to community. We're talking about your health. We're talking about your education. And of course, the key pillar, which is your spirituality. So we're looking forward to helping you fellas in this community unleash your riches here as you are part in Confidence Factor. So as you're coming in, if you're watching this live, we want you to put hashtag heart level. Let us know where you're coming in from. And of course, if you're watching in the replay, you're going to put hashtag replay. Let us know that you're watching this information. Be sure to put a comment in the comment section. Ask the questions, engage with our guests, because these are phenomenal people who have taken their time to show up, to share value with the community. So we honor them, we thank them, and we want to support and appreciate them in this community. So, fellas, really excited about today's discussion and about our guest who's just been making a big impact for men. And so it's such a good and great opportunity to have him here tonight to share his story, his value, his impact, his life transformation to the community of men here in Confidence Factor. Yes, 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 yes. Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. So I know you guys were talking about Kentucky, but you know, I'll share a little bit more. But I know if you guys had any specific things that happened to you this week, any particular wins that you guys had this week, any wins that you guys want to share this week before we get started with the show.
Well, I went down to Fort Lauderdale with a group of friends, and I'm gonna be honest, I felt like I was cheating on Confidence Factor.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I'm telling you, it was a group of guys. It was 8 of us in an Airbnb, and we sat around. We had great conversation. We went out together. We bonded. A lot of us didn't know each other coming in, but going out, we all knew each other, and it was just like this big family thing. So I'm gonna actually introduce those. I sent the link to them and say, watch the show tonight. You know, because I mean, you know, with what we do here at Confidence Factor and what they do in their personal lives, it would be great assets to be a part of our community. So I'm gonna invite them in. But it was a great weekend, man. We did a boat cruise. It was really nice. It was really.
Oh, nice. I love that. I love that. And the reality is, I know Rudy's trying to say something. Rudy, you are mute, man.
Notice they said they were in Fort Lauderdale, right? I'm just going to leave it right there.
Listen.
The mayor didn't even get, you know what I'm saying, the insight. I'm going to leave it right there, though.
Hey, Lamar, you know you in trouble, right?
You know, as I was passing, I'm not even gonna give myself teeth. I'm gonna let it go. We'll talk about this off behind the scenes. All right.
Hey, listen, you know, hey, listen.
I'm not even in Florida, so it's all good.
Oh, okay.
You know, this is what we do in this community, man. If you can't have fun with each other and celebrate each other, man, why come together? I love the fact that Lamont, you were able to go down to Fort Lauderdale and expand your relationship pool. Talk to the guys about, you know, Confidence Factor, but mostly, you know, your business, the things that you're doing to expand. And this is what we want to encourage in this community. We want you guys to always be expanding your relationships, always be expanding your environments, always be expanding yourself. You know, it's an investment in self that's going to lead to the greatest interest. And when you get that interest, like Lamont did, he got that great relationship capital. He's now able to bring that back to the community, and that's how we grow as a community, right? It's collaboration over competition. Exactly. It's celebration, not toleration, right? That's what we're about here in Confidence Factor. So, my brother, I honor you, appreciate you. I'm glad that you got that experience added to your life, that now you're more enriched, and you can bring it back and share with the community. So that's beautiful. So, Javon, what about you, man? Any wins for the week so far?
I've been out here at these events. I've been in the streets. I've been outside, as we be saying, right? I've been outside vending. I've been pushing the books. I've been pushing the message. And I'm just leveling up as we continue to do this, because eventually I'm going to be back in bookstores. Eventually, I'm going to have my landing webpage. Eventually, the company's going to be off the ground. Eventually, I'm going to be all over the world just preaching this message of level up. So it just takes brick by brick, and I'm happy to be building right now.
Man, love it, love it, love it. Celebration to you, man. Keep rocking. And for those of you guys also, you know, who had some wins for the week, put your wins in the comment section, man. We want to honor you and celebrate you guys for that as well. You know, oftentimes we focus so much on what we don't have. So oftentimes we focus on what we didn't do or we didn't get to do, or the losses. And we don't highlight those wins, man. So we want to make sure you guys get some of that dopamine, you know, juice, man, just some of the celebration that we're going to have in this community. So be sure to put your wins down there. So tonight, before we get Lamont to introduce our special guest, you know, we're talking about why the lack of self-awareness decreases your value. Now, I'm truly excited about this conversation because, fellas, as you guys know, I always say that awareness is the first step to change, right? So when you don't have lack of awareness, oh my gosh, literally you're running your life by default and not by design. And so we're excited to hear how we increase about by increasing our self-awareness so that we can have a life of design. So without further ado, Lamont, give us the backstory, man, of how you met this gentleman and why you saw fit to introduce him to this community.
So I'm on Facebook, and there's this video that comes up, and this muscular big fella's on there, and he's just like, "Yo, you're messing up." I mean, he just was going in, and I was like, "Wait, is he talking to me?" What'd I do? Right? And he just had, and when we talk about heart level conversations that lead to transformation, where he went was extremely heart level. And I was like, this is a confidence factor, man. We got to get him on the show. And I've been reaching out to him to say, listen, we want to have you a part. We want to introduce, I want you to come and be a guest on our show, because his message resonates. It's like exactly what we're talking about. But he was really heart level about the fact that a lot of guys make excuses. We make excuses. We give ourselves too many passes, and it does not, and we don't reach our goals. And he came at a very, very heart level perspective. And that's why I reached out to him, and it really resonated with me. And I know it's going to resonate with the community.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. We love that. We love that. All right, so why don't you just go ahead and introduce him and bring him into the show. I'm excited to meet this gentleman and to learn more about his story, and of course, for him to share his insight with the community.
Awesome. His name is Sanyika the Firestarter Street. He is a powerhouse. He's an executive coach for men. He helps men raise the bar in their business, their body, and their being through his coaching program, the All In CEO. His personal mission is to help 1 million men define what it means to live a life fully in alignment and built on integrity, empowering men to become better husbands, better fathers, and better leaders. As an innovative speaker, he's worked with the world's biggest brands such as Sony PlayStation, Fox Network, the U.S. Department of Defense, and the Universal Music Group, MTV, all of these type brands. He has an interview called The All In Moment that has a worldwide distribution of over 30 million people. Gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the stage Mr. Sanyika the Firestarter Street. Welcome to the show.
Yes.
Woo!
What is up?
Sanyika, what's going on, champion?
What's going on,
man, what is up, man? First of all,
I had to grow the beard for you, bro. I had to grow the beard for you, bro.
Listen, man.
Hold up! Don't talk big. Come on, man. I'm still happy about my little connection I'm having right over here. Like, I'm growing here. I'm leveling up on my beard, so don't stop.
Listen, man. I respect the level up. Dr. Jones. I respect that, man. And I see you where you are at, and I'm with you totally. But this is about beards and bald heads, man. So I just gotta make sure that we can talk about this in the way that is the most.
Welcome to the show, my friend.
Very much appreciated. Where are y'all located?
Man, we all over, bro. We got.
I'm in Orlando, Florida, man. I'm
Okay.
in Orlando, Florida.
I'm in Kissimmee, Florida.
Okay.
Orlando.
I'm all over the place, bro. I'm
Got
at West Palm, Maryland, all over the place.
Got it. Okay. I heard Baltimore pop up, and that's where my father's from, Baltimore. My entire side of the family's from Baltimore on my dad's side.
Yeah, Lamar is from Baltimore.
Yeah, he's from so Lamar, you from Baltimore, yeah.
I'm originally born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland.
Got it. So my grandmother grew up off Cold Spring Lane.
But yep,
Nice.
Park Heights.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I grew up in DC. So
Okay.
I played basketball at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. So so my roots are on the East Coast. I just live in LA. So I was tired of it. All that.
What part of LA you at now?
I mean, I live in the county. I live in the Covina area. So
Okay.
yeah, but I've been all over the city, man. Sherman Oaks,
Love
Hollywood, all that kind of stuff. So
Love it.
I'll get into a lot of that. But I'm really glad to be here, Lamont. I appreciate your tenacity and making sure that we made this thing happen. Thank you for the connection. I've been traveling and speaking and doing all that fun stuff. So I'm really glad to be grounded, and I'm really honored, honestly, man, to be in a group of Black men who are leading the charge in terms of showing through embodiment practice what it looks like when we collaborate and come together.
Yeah.
So it's a really powerful thing that y'all are doing. Like literally, y'all don't necessarily have to say anything. Like just the fact that you show up with this intention is a really powerful statement for the people that are in witness. So if you are watching this, then don't just necessarily watch what they are saying, just watch who they are being in this moment, because it's a really awesome thing to experience. So I salute y'all, and I very much honor it for sure.
Thank you, man. We certainly appreciate that. We love the words that you're using, being intentionality, and we're certainly all about that. And you are someone that we honor also in reference to your decisions to say yes to yourself, to show up and make an impact. And of course, we're thankful that you're here today to make an impact as well. So let's start, man. I what I'm excited about is to hear a little bit of your story. Here in Confidence Factor, we say we have heart level conversations that lead to transformation, right? We keeps it real, right? So we know we're here to talk about lack of awareness and how that decreases your value. But before we get into that, let's talk about who you are as a person in business, in life, in relationships. Like, give us your backstory, how you got to where you are today.
I will very much give you the backstory. I want to preface this really quickly, though. I think this is really important in the context of awareness, right? Self-awareness is derived through reflection. So to really have a heightened sense of oneself, we need to be able to see ourselves through the eyes of others. And one of the things that I have definitely witnessed through my work and through the work that other people is that there are a significant amount of men that have a fear of being seen. And so, and I was the person who was leading the charge, right? So, just flashback, I like to always start these types of conversations with sort of I call it the fork in the road, or the genesis point, or the point from which you are reborn into whatever version of yourself you are seeking to become. I call it my rock bottom sandwich. And I was very much at a rock bottom sandwich. I mean, I call it a rock bottom sandwich because I was already at rock bottom, and then rock bottom smashed on top of me. It was like I was an Oreo cookie and I was the filling, I'm 42 now, I was 35 then. I was financially broke, emotionally broken, 2 DUIs, girlfriend paying the bills, 40 pounds overweight, driving a 92 BMW 325i that I was very appreciative of, but I would drive it to a location and park it so far away that I might as well have just walked. And I was working at a reverse phone lookup company called Spokio, making $11 an hour. And I was talking to old women about the guy that took them for all their money on a dating website. That was one hell of a life. So that was my life. And here's the thing. Those were the results. Those were the consequences. Money is very similar. Money is a consequence. It is a result. And it was an outcome. But what was the process, right? So the process is that I was not in a process of identifying or being seen. And so when I say seen, I'm not talking about what you can see, touch, smell, feel, or taste, like what you can see with your 3D realm, like this, you being able to physically see me. But I'm talking about, like you said, confidence factor, heart level conversation, like being seen, So I was afraid to be seen, right? In the shame of what I was experiencing, right? Trapped in my own trauma and not even understanding what trauma was, right? Not willing to be seen, not willing to really be heard. And so I was a lot up here. I wasn't in here. I wasn't in any level of embodiment practice. Here's the thing. 95% of our thoughts are subconscious. And then the question is I always ask with my clients, well, where does your subconscious mind live? Where does it exist? It exists in your soma, in your body. Your body is your subconscious mind. And if you are not in this, then you cannot be seen. You cannot be seen. So you need to be able to feel what you are experiencing on a physiological level. So I was afraid to be seen. So those were the results of my life as a result of not being in the embodiment practice, not being seen, not having community, not having reflection, not even willing to receive reflection, right? Like not even close. And so the thing is that I wasn't in that practice. So then the question is, so this is where I'm at in my life. And the question is what I need to do. And I was like, there's a deeper intuition, like you were talking about, like the pillars. And one of them, you said, obviously spirit. And I think of spirit as your deeper intuition, like your wisdom. You know, the wisdom that travels generation to generation. I think like I wasn't willing to tap into that. And the reason I wasn't willing to tap into it is because I was not willing to live in a process of learning how to trust myself. I did not know how to trust myself. And so what I did is I only lived by the framework of the things that I could see and move. And so there's a book called Power versus Force. And so the idea is I was living a lot by force, right? So if I couldn't move it, if I couldn't push it, if I couldn't yield it with my hands or yield it with my voice or yield it with and I didn't know how to, I thought I needed to force things. I didn't know how to inspire, right? And the distinction in that. So I ended up joining during that lowest period of my life with all those different things. I joined a community of men. When I was broke. I couldn't even afford the $100 monthly membership fee. And here's the thing about that group that was really powerful. It was old men. It was white men. None looked like me. And these were some of the most successful white men in the world. Wow. I was like, how did I end up in here? I was like, what is this? Like, this don't even make no sense. I'm like, what am I? I was like, look, if my cell phone get cut off, at least I can borrow somebody in this thing. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just go with it. And I had lost all belief in myself, man. I literally lost all belief in myself. But there's a quote by Les Brown. He says, sometimes you need to believe in somebody else's belief in you until your belief is strong enough to kick in. Sure. And so what ended up happening was this group of men and some of the most successful guys who, guys with like, everybody from Jim Quick to Dave Asprey, Bulletproof Coffee, and all the other guys like that, like just people who were just like crushing it in every aspect of business. They welcomed me in with open arms because they saw something in me. And that allowed me the process of leaning on their belief in me so I could build my own legs. I moved to San Diego, got a full-time job, started doing sales, went from the number 30 rep in 30 days to number 2 in a month. And then I just started to rebuild my life, and I rebuilt my life. And now I went from broken to breaking records. So, it's been a powerful transformation.
Love it. Wow. That was beautiful, man. I appreciate you sharing that and getting the ability to willing to be seen, right? To be seen here in Confidence Factor. And we see you, brother. We see you. And
I do have a question for you when you get a chance for him on that very same story that he just shared.
Yeah. I'm there with you. I'm there because what I want to know is, you talked about trusting yourself, and I want to know what does that look like now for you? You didn't trust yourself back then. What process does that look like for you? So that's one question. The other question is, I want to know what was like the turning point for you to go from being number 30 to like being number 2 in sales. What was like the thing that shifted for you? And I know that's what I want you to dig into and share with us if you don't mind.
For sure.
Yeah.
And just as a reference point, obviously I don't do sales in that capacity anymore. I run my coaching business, but as I tell the people that I work with, your lifelong licensure in your business is sales, understanding how to invite people into your process. But to your first question about trust, the interesting thing, the dictionary definition of confidence, I use this as a reference point all the time, is belief in oneself, to believe in yourself, right? But the Latin root of confidence is confidere. It is with trust. So it means to trust oneself. So we develop trust in oneself by believing in ourselves. So to believe in yourself, you need to develop trust in yourself. And to develop trust in yourself, there has to be some kind of process by which you're moving through to develop trust in yourself. Mm-hmm. And I think that there are too many men that are addicted to outcomes instead of addicted to process. Right. And so if you're addicted to outcomes, then you're like, oh, and so like in your mind and in your soul, you're like, yeah, I really want to be a millionaire and I really want to have a like amazing relationship. And I totally really want to have these things. But if you ask somebody what their process is, and then you hear crickets, and you're like, oh, I understand that. And the thing is that they don't want to reveal their process because they feel like the process isn't it. The process is where you refine who you are. That's where you get to be seen. I get to be seen in the process. So many people want to reveal themselves when they hit the outcomes. Like, I have reached the $1 million mark. Like, I've just felt like, dude, like you get to that thing. And I'm just like, no, like, like you get to be witnessed in the process. Because accountability, one of your other pillars, so what does accountability mean? Well, accountability means, is accounting for who you said you were going to be and what you said you were going to do. And so the idea is that if I set a vision for where I'm looking to go, and then I am willing to be seen in my process, by which being able to do that, then you, my brothers, can hold me accountable. If people ask me why I work with men, I say very simple reason. I said, because iron sharpens iron. Behind Rudy's things, he got 2 lions. My boys say, because lions sharpen lions. And the thing is that when you step into this environment, is that you need people who are going to hold you to the highest level of personal accountability so that you can see the greatness within yourself. Mm-hmm. And many of y'all are hiding from being seen in your process. So to directly answer your question, I had to step into a process every day of what was my process of building my trust. I had to show up every day. So what is showing up every day? Showing up with the willingness to be able to be in some level of self-awareness practice. That's why journaling is critical and important. If you don't have an active journaling process, then you are missing out on gold. I tell people when we're in conversation, don't take notes because I'm dope. Take notes because you're dope. If you follow guys like Tim Ferriss, 80% of the processes and that stuff that he writes down, the 20% of that stuff turns into programs. My programs turn into $1 million marks. Like I'm not fucking like, the shit I write is gold. And many of you don't understand or have any level of self-awareness around the person that you want to step up into. And then you just want to wait for the outcome. I'm like, look, man, I write down all types of stuff. I have a pad in this conversation because the value proposition associated with this, I honor it, right? So the thing is that like, this is the way that I show up. So I have a self practice in terms of the way that I see myself writing my thoughts, so journaling is being able to have in a practice, and I have a process called creating the future, which is a journaling process that gets you from whatever the authentic emotional state that you are currently in to the future that you are committed to creating. And the idea is that, look, I can be honest with myself in that process about what I am currently feeling. I feel like shit. I feel like a loser. I feel like I'm in imposter syndrome, all that other kind of stuff. And then you transition to the future that you are committed to creating. Because when you wake up in the morning, the thing is that if you don't win, we call it winning your morning. If you are not winning your morning, you are losing your day. And so the thing is that you have to be in a self-mastery process, and that you need to be in a process where you are articulating what you think to yourself. That's number one. The second thing is that I have to have a powerfully compelling future that is pulling me forward. I have to have a vision of the future. And so many people go, well, you shouldn't have expectations. I'm like, well, the definition of expectation is a belief that something will occur. Okay. Faith, very similar definition. Belief that something will occur. Like, the issue is not having expectations of faith. The issue is that you have a very set of rigid outcomes associated with an exact expectation. It's your rigid ass. It's your rigidity. And the enemy of opportunity is rigidity. It's the fact that you are unwilling to be fluid or creative. Is that you got a brush and a canvas, and the only thing that you can do is color inside the lines. So you have an opportunity in this moment to be in the space where, you know what? All right, I got my own self-practice. I have a vision of what's pulling me forward that's broader than just money. And that gets me pulling towards the lifestyle that I want to create. So now I have a lifestyle. I have a wife. I have kids. All that other kind of stuff. So I don't like build my business around my lifestyle. I build my lifestyle. My lifestyle comes first, and everything else. I do build my business around my lifestyle, but I don't build my lifestyle around my business. So everything around that comes first. So this is the way that I curate my life. So the second thing is making sure that I have a powerfully compelling vision. And the third thing is what you all have curated within each other is that I need to have the highest level individuals who are accountable, high integrity, calling me forward. Some of y'all are in water cooler talk all the damn time. The words that you use create the world that you live in. Your language is a dictator of your future. I tell people I'm a writer. I'm just a writer trapped in the body of an NFL lineman. But the reality is that, like, you know, is that I can tell where you are based on your language. And so the thing is that if you don't have future forward language, if you don't have the language of leadership, if you don't have a language that's pulling you forward and pulling me with you, and like, oh shit, we can actually go somewhere because of this, then I don't want to roll with you. Take the squares out your circle. So I just offered that to the statement around that. And so I just wanted to offer a process. So basically, I need to make sure that I have a personal self-mastery process in my writing. I need to make sure I have a compelling vision of my future. And then I need to make sure that I am constantly in the refinement of that by having individuals around me that are pulling me forward, and the rising tide rises all ships with it.
Wow, I love it. Yeah, that you really not only demonstrated just talking about the thing, but also really went straight into the process. So you're demonstrating the thing that you just taught us.
Yes.
So I love it. But Rudy, I know you had a question. Go ahead, my man.
Yeah, I had a question about, he talked about being in a space in his life where, things were going awry and he felt, he was at the bottom of the bottom, right? What do you think got you there? Talk to me about maybe your upbringing, maybe about parents, friends, community. What was that like for you from getting to that point and be like, okay, let me kind of trace back to see how did I get here? And the reason why I ask this is simple. A lot of times I see people that get into these spaces of greatness, but not understanding, for most people, they don't understand that, look, they were just like you. It's not like things were peaches and then they were just like you in this space, and then they found themselves at the bottom of the barrel. Like, we don't think that the majority of people, they go through things in life or they come from these backgrounds that you're like, well, there's no way that this guy is this guy now because this is where he came from. So talk to us a little bit about some of that background, if you will, when you were, as you were coming up in Baltimore. Well, no, Washington, D.C. Sorry, in D.C.
For sure, man. So that's a really important thing. I love that you brought that up around like where I came from, right? And then the question then becomes is how does it inform the person that I have become? And so here's the first thing that I had to do in my response. So when you see the CEOs, the idea is it is not just being the CEO of your business, but being the CEO of your life. And I have 5 commitments that you make as a result of being the CEO of your life. And the first one is radical responsibility. It means taking responsibility that I am the creator of my experience on this planet. I am. Right? So reality is created by the perceiver. I am the perceiver. So I am creating this experience of the world. So what I experienced, a lot of guys do, and listen, I'm just to give you a background, like I'm the youngest of 4, I'm the baby in the family. I feel like, God punished my family, made me bigger than everybody else. But, so I'm the youngest of 4, and the 2 loudest voices in my home were my mother and my sister. And so what I didn't understand at the time was I was growing up in a way with sort of like feminist or feminine ideologies. I didn't even know that you actually choose to be a man. I had no idea. I just thought I was just being me and everything like that. Because one of the things that I didn't realize is that, and you may experience this, a lot of guys go, I'm a ladies' man, and like I like to surround myself with the ladies and all this other kind of stuff like that. But the reason why I brought up the fact that you all have curated this environment is because one of the greatest realizations I have come to is the fact that there are a significant amount of men that do not trust other men. And that's right here. But underneath that, what that really means is they don't feel safe with other men.
True.
The most valuable asset in the world is trust. It is not money. It is trust. Darian, you talked about relationship capital. Here's the thing, is that we place too much credit and value on paper. But here's the thing, if you don't have paper, how do you make money? Because you can leverage trust. And some of you are not accountable in high integrity. And then you want to know why you can't turn it into paper. Because no one trusts you. Because you don't show up. And you're not accountable. And you're not in integrity with yourself. Nor with the people around you. So what I had to do is I had to come to some level of realization, the fact that, if I really want to create exponential wealth, then I have to get in integrity with myself and create a life that works. I have to understand that the definition of integrity means honoring your word, which this is the exact definition I give my class, honoring your word, which includes keeping your word. And in the event that you are human and you do not do what you said that you were going to do, that you're accountable enough and honorable enough to acknowledge what you said, apologize for causing any harm, and create a new agreement in pursuit of a future-based relationship. It is all about the sake of the relationship. That is it. And so I'm going back to what you were saying, Rudy, about the idea of like where I came from. So I had all these like preconceived notions, but I hadn't done my own deep dive. People ask me the book I recommend to most people. I tell them the first book you need to read is the dictionary, dude. Because you're walking around with the meaning of things, with a subverted meaning of things that you've adopted from other people. Some words have up to 430 sub-definitions. So you're walking around with context of the world that doesn't serve you. So you need to start identifying the way that you want to move through the world by understanding the language that creates the world that you live in, right? It's one of the reasons, and I'll share this maybe later on, but like one of the things I do is in my keynotes, I incorporate spoken word, and I'm actually putting together a college tour based on a spoken word piece I did called the N-word. But it's an exploration of that word. And it's a really powerful piece, and I'd be happy to share it for the community. But the idea is that so for me to be able to, I had to start digging into this stuff. What is masculinity? What is leadership? What are those things? Because all I'm doing is just moving with the adopted information that I've received from everybody else as a result of just being alive. That doesn't denigrate my mom. It doesn't denigrate my sister. It doesn't denigrate my brothers. It just says this is the way that I was moving until I made the choice, the radical responsibility to live the life that I was living. And then as a result of that, then I started to dig into my experience of the world, some trauma that I personally experienced, inner child. This is why inner child work is so important. This is why core wound work is so important. This is why, understanding those types of things is so critical, because once you start to understand, like, and have context around those things, then I can start to understand that, my two core wounds are the rejection and abandonment. So I understand that whenever I feel rejected or I feel abandoned, that my initial impulse is to exit the situation instead of to be curious. And so, instead what I do is I get to be curious within myself. And then I go, Rudy, so why did you feel that way? Or I get to ask you a question instead of exiting the environment, And so like it changes the way that you move through the world. So I had to come to some level of personal awareness around a lot of these things, that I was adopting things to become the person that I was. And then I was like, what if I just like made a shift to make an active choice to choose to be a man that I wanted to be? And what if I could choose to make that man just not like this tapestry of all the stuff that I see on TV and the stuff that doesn't really serve me and all the, like macho, stuff like that, and actually be a heart level dude who has confidence in himself, who believes in himself, and who actually feels like he can go out in this world and make an impact, So I had to transition from that. So I had to curate myself, Michelangelo, chipping away David with a bigger penis. That was a joke. So, so that's like the work that I had to do.
Oh man, I love it. I'm laughing in the background because my mic was on mute. But man, hey, listen. We can feel the words. I can't speak for the other fellows, but I can feel your words. I can feel your conviction. I can feel the work that has been put in to get to this point. And I want everyone to really, if you're watching this right now, to really feel the words that you're sharing right now. And I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name correct. It's Senyika.
Absolutely.
Senyika. All right. So really feel the word Senyika is saying, because oftentimes whenever we feel, we run away from, right? We feel something, doesn't feel, normal or comfortable, we run away. We're being challenged right now to step into our greatness. We're being challenged right now to adopt a new model. And this is where the transformation happens. So we appreciate him for sharing that. I know Javon has a question, and I have a follow-up question for you as well pertaining to the topic, because I want to understand what value is, why self-awareness is self-decreasing of value. But go ahead, Javon. I want to give you an opportunity to ask your question.
All right. So during this space that you've been in for this time period, you've used these words: journaling, self-reflection, being, purpose, vision, high integrity, language, inner child, core wounds. These are terms that's not used amongst men often, right? So my question to you is this: what experiences that you went to that shift you into this direction of you doing the journaling, doing the self-reflection, doing all these things that you mentioned to put you now, and how does that help you, and how do you advise men to adopt these ideologies to better themselves?
Great question. I agree it's not common language. And just FYI, one of the things that I used to do is I used to hide the language because it wasn't common. So I'd be like, oh, I'm not going to say it because most guys don't know what it is, And so the very first, in my own personal self-prescribed practice, I had to go and I had to start to understand the language, to start to understand the path. I had to understand my relationship with shame first. So the shame was the first thing. All right. And so if you are so here's a couple things. If you are currently feeling stuck, like you feel stuck, like you're not moving to the area that you want to move into in terms of your business or in terms of your life or in terms of your relationship, you feel stuck, right? That is not just an intellectual interpretation. It's also represented as a physiological thing. And so shame registers in your body. It prevents you from moving, right? So it prevents you from being able to move. So the first thing I had to do was I had to get in shame. And so I was fortunate enough to be around men who were to basically start to ask people questions about how to move through shame. So if you are not telling people about what you're currently experiencing, if you feel like you're not like sharing your financial situation, if you feel like you're not willing to just show up and be like, yo, like I'm fucking broke. I'm broke. I don't have any, whatever, like what the thing is. I apologize for cursing. But if I don't have the whatever it is that you feel like you need to get off your chest, you can't get it off your chest, the very first thing I would do is start to get in some awareness around shame. And the best way to do that is to start exploring what men's work is. All right. So I would start with an exploration of what men's work is. It's men doing personal development work. Just being in conversation about what you're actually experiencing is value in and of itself. All right. So if you're not in a practice of sharing what you're currently experiencing with other high integrity guys, then it has the ability then you will continue to feel stuck. All right. So that's the first thing. Right. I'm not, people got all types of interpretations of how it works and doesn't work and all that kind of stuff. I'm saying it's great to be in conversation with individuals, period. The value of your conversations will determine the trajectory of your future, period. So first thing, Dr. Love, you have to be in conversation to start to move through the shame. All right. So if I'm not moving through the shame, then I'm trapped. I'm in a self-imposed prison and I don't know how to get out. It's like, well, how do I get out? Well, but it's not literally coming out of my mouth. It's not coming out of my mouth. You're not admitting. I have porn addiction. I have a drug addiction. I have a gambling problem. I have a drinking problem. And by the way, drinking problem means that if you are drinking and you have problems, you have a drinking problem. So You know, the thing is that it's like those things need to start coming out of you. You know, they need to start coming out. And if you're not in a practice of getting them out, then that's where your work starts. Right? The shame usually is the place that most people are hiding. Shame is the foundational place. So before we get to the language, navigate the shame. Second thing I would do is as an exploration of what it means to be a man from you.
Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I had to stop you on that one. Navigate through the shame. That right there is going to set a lot of men free. If you're listening and you're watching this, navigate through the shame. Find a safe space. This is why we're here. Actually, a confidence factor, because it is about being able to navigate through the shame in a safe space, not only in a safe space, but a space that's going to help you navigate through that and bring around experts that's going to help you do just that. So thank you for that, because that is huge in our community. Go ahead with the second one.
For sure, man. For sure. The shame is foundational. Oof. Right? Yeah. I mean, it's a result of society. Why would you need $1 million on a deserted island? You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't need $1 million. Why lose 50 pounds for who? There's no reason, right? But then you put people in society, and then all of a sudden we want to like prevent and hide and, you know, kind of conceal things. So, you know, so the shame, navigating through the shame is really important. Before you step into leadership, the first thing I would step into is an exploration of what masculinity is. I would start to understand and unpack masculinity. So Dr. Love, the second thing is start to explore masculinity. There's a book called Way of the Superior Man. And I would very much recommend Way of the Superior Man because it's a really important book. I would imagine that y'all already recommend it, but you know, it's like, I would recommend Way of the Superior Man because it's a really important representation of masculinity. Let me just state this for the record. I know that there are a certain amount of guys who are sort of like dipping their toe in the water in terms of what masculinity means. Let me just say this. There is no such thing as toxic masculinity.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So here's the thing. First thing, I appreciate that, Darian. But here's the reason why. Masculine does not mean male. And some of y'all have that conflated. You think masculine means male. Masculinity or masculine behaviors are a set of behaviors attributed to men, but that does not mean male. And so when people say toxic masculinity, they are inherently associating masculinity with men. Well, guess what? Women have masculine characteristics, right? Organization, action, leadership, those are masculine behaviors. And your lack of understanding around what masculinity actually is preventing you from being able to access those things. You're just taking what the media gives you, go, oh, toxic masculinity, I shouldn't touch that. I should just adopt, like I was doing, everything that everybody else is just like spilling down my mouth. And so my invitation in this is to explore what masculinity actually is, because it gives you access, and it's like a buffet. You can like pick, oh yeah, I like leadership and I like action. I may not be necessarily ready for organization. You can just put that stuff on a plate. And then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, you take it back to your plate, and at your table, you got your woman, your kids, your business partners, your colleagues, your clients, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, look, this is what I've created. You know, would you like to eat from this plate that I have served myself? You know, like that's the opportunity from this. So Dr. Love, so again, and so the thing is that you pull the language when you start doing the inner child work, the core wounds, all that stuff, that's from shame work, right? Trauma work. You start pulling leadership, you know what I'm saying, understanding about vision, mission, purpose, all those different things, that's from masculinity. So where does the language come from? It comes from those explorations. But the thing is that some of y'all ain't hungry enough to ask questions. You are operating on assumption. You're not brave enough to ask questions, rather. And you definitely feel like you need to know everything before you would ask another person, because either you're younger than them, older than them, whatever it is. I mean, people got all types of reasons for not asking for help. And those are also a component of a self-imposed prison that's preventing you from leveling up and growing to the degree of which you are choosing, that you think that you're ready to grow. But if you ain't refining yourself in an environment of individuals like these four brothers, man, and really act like y'all should be hitting these dudes up, like there's no reason. Y'all shouldn't even have the ability to be able to like have time alone to yourselves. You should have so many messages from people trying to level themselves up. There's no reason. But it just shows you how hungry. And guess what? When I was at my lowest point, I was working a Christmas tree recycling thing, scrubbing the floors of the richest people in Hollywood, Sinbad, all them people like that. I was at their houses cleaning up their Christmas trees after Christmas because I ain't having, and some of y'all ain't hungry enough. So y'all don't want to ask questions. You just want to be drowning in your own stew. And so I love you, but y'all need to get it together. And you need to step up for real. And the reason that you don't have people around you who will check you, who will call you forward, not call you out, but call you forward, is because you want to stay comfortable in that environment of which you have created for yourself. But I'm telling you, yo, it's a prison. It's the hole. You're drowning in it.
Woo! Damn. That's a call to arms right there. That is a call to arms. Listen, so I want you to do something real quick before I ask you the next question. I know you have, a gift for the community. I think it's relative to your morning routine. And I want to give you an opportunity to share a little bit about that so guys can get access to that. There is a question from a member that I want to ask, but I want you to share with us what your gift is for the community so we can get that. We can share it to the community before we go to the next question. Talk to us about that.
For sure, man. My gift for the community is very straightforward. And it is not a freebie. It's not a website. I hope that this inspires the hunger in you to want to become a better human being. I don't give a shit about links and all that other kind of stuff like that. I do have them, but I'm telling you, people eat information. They just want to devour information, but the same way to go to Google and go scroll through Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. And so I'm saying that before you choose to click a link or find out any information, I want you to just check within yourself and do a self-inventory and say, am I ready to step my life up? Like, am I really ready to step into another level of the person that I'm looking to be? And if I'm ready internally to be able to do that, because that link or anybody else's link is not going to get you. I can't tell you how many people who come to me talking about they need marketing and leads. And I will look that dude in the face. I'm like, dude, I don't trust you. You're hiding something. I can throw you as far as I can smell you, and I don't want to have nothing to do with you. And guess what? No one does either. So sure, you need marketing and leads. And the reality is that at this point right now, you have not stepped into the beingness of that will take you to the next level. And the people that are really doing it, the people that are really climbing at a high level, they understand that who you choose to be governs everything. You think I give a shit, man? I'm telling you, my process is commitment. You know what my 5-step formula is? Commitment. You know what my 3-step template is? Commitment. You know what my branding strategy is? Integrity. Period. Screw the rest of the other stuff. I do have a link so you can win your morning after you identify the person that you really want to be. But don't go searching through links and stuff like that because you have this voracious appetite for information, the information hoarders. I'm like, yeah, I need to grab this information. I need to download this thing. It'll go all in the other stuff with all the other spam bots and everything else you got in your email that you haven't cleaned out. Because I know some of y'all got 10,000 emails that you have not opened. I know some of y'all got 10,000 emails. I know that. And so the thing is that who do you need to be in this moment? Do you need to be more committed? Do you need to be more self-aware? Do you need to be more resilient? Do you need to be more vulnerable? The V word. Yeah. So I'm open to going longer, man.
Yeah. No, I love it. I'm just putting the request in there for the fellas because this is so good. So I want to open up to the community, man, because I like to get everybody's buy-in. Is everybody good in terms of going a little bit longer? This is a nod of the head. We good? All right, because
good. I'm good.
This is so good. No, I want you guys, Lamont, can you drop the link though? Can we drop the link or at least share the link that they can go to grab the morning routine though? I do want, yes, awesome stuff. And we're gonna drop that inside the group as well. So in the replay section, so you guys can access that. But I certainly wanted to honor the fellas and get these questions answered. So one of the questions that we get asked is, what is this thing called authenticity? Someone asked the question, what is authenticity? What is it really? You know, you talk about authenticity, but what is it? As from a man, from a masculine, what is authenticity?
I'm breathing in the question. And my personal view on authenticity is an awareness of the characteristics that make you that inspire you, that people admire. Right. So there's the characteristics about me that inspire me, that other people admire. And so there's like this relationship between those virtues that I see within myself and the relationship with the world around me. And so there is and so the idea is, am I willing to share those qualities about me? Like, that is my authenticity. There's a transparency and there's a vulnerability in authenticity. Again, the sharing, right? So there's the shame that prevents you from sharing those things. And then there's a willingness to be able to be in the space of being vulnerable and transparent and sharing those gifts and those aspects. So they're not just necessarily that you can draw or that you can, I'm an artist. I was signed on Universal Music Group. I've written for like boy bands and stuff like, Too Short and all types of people. I've done, like that kind of stuff. So there's an artist in me. At the same time, I am a husband. You know what I'm saying? I'm a father. I have an 11-year-old earthquake. I got an 11-month-old earthquake. I got an 11-year-old hurricane. I know the weather in the house every single day. It is a natural disaster. So, like I got all those, saying situations. I'm a leader. You know what I'm saying? I support men through some of the most powerful journeys of their lives. And I'm the son, of Diane Eileen Street and William Donnell Street. And I honor them, even though I have an estranged relationship with my father and my mother, but I honor them as my parents. You know what I'm saying? I realize that that's part of the lineage that has created me, so that's, so the authenticity is about being willing to share those things along with my virtues, like, leadership, self-awareness, tenacity, resilience, like those types of things as well. But it's your willingness to share those things also.
Love it. Love it. That was a beautiful response, man. I appreciate that. And one of the things I'd love to do, because I want you to answer this question. And then, of course, as you know, we have this thing called the inspiration injection. So, fellas, I'm going to ask that Sanika do the poem for our inspiration injection, if you don't mind, after asking this question. If you guys have any additional questions, feel free to ask, but I got to ask him this question because brother is powerful and he's rising up something in my spirit right now. I know you guys feel it, right? So commitment, integrity. If you didn't hear, CCI, okay? So, the name of this particular discussion tonight is why the lack of self-awareness decreases your value. But first of all, I want you to define value, and then I want you to talk about why lack of self-awareness decreases that value, right? So if you could, for us, number one part of the question is, what do you consider value? And then secondly, why does a lack of self-awareness then decrease that said value?
Got it. Perfect question. And I love the order in that too. Value is what I deem to be important. So it is a measure of a standard of value is what I deem to be important. Values are standard of behavior and importance, right? So the ways that I will show up in that situation. And in the context of why it decreases your value, your worth, your personal worth, right? So my worth exists in the form of, the way that I am received, like personally, my ability to earn income, my ability to be able to perform and execute at a high level, my ability to inspire team and to inspire others to be able to into collaboration. Like, those are really important things. So value exists in a standard of worth, and worth is not just about how much money you can make, right? So why self-awareness is why not being self-aware is really important is because when you cut off certain aspects of that, you cut off certain aspects to the resources that you're looking to acquire. If I'm not aware Again, be willing to be seen, right? In all of who I am. If I'm not willing to be seen, then again, the most valuable asset in the world is trust. Like, why was the handshake invented? Right? The handshake was invented to show that the other individual is not carrying a weapon. And so the way that we engage with each other sometimes is, I'll be like, you have a conversation with somebody, and then all of a sudden, you start spouting out like your business stats. You start spouting out how things are going in your business, in your life. And I'm like, look, like I need to know who you are as a human. Of course, I want to know how your business is doing. It's a component of your willingness to be a provider for your family and for other people. So of course, I want to know what's happening in your business. And I want to know who you are as a human and how you're doing as a human. And so when I hear people, so when there's a lack of self-awareness, meaning a lack of self-awareness, they're not aware of the fact of their emotional state. And men who are not aware of their emotional state are ticking time bombs. If you do not have a standard emotional regulation practice, I can probably spot it in 35 seconds. So the thing is that, you don't even know how to regulate your emotions. You think happiness is about, happiness and sadness and just, joy and like all that other kind of stuff. I'm like, you can call it turtle, garage, or table. I don't know what it is. There's a chemical cocktail that is occurring in your body. And if you are not aware of what is happening inside of your physical body, you are a bomb waiting to explode. So you have to be, so that self-awareness means that when you have a sales conversation and if somebody says no, you'd be like, well, they don't want anything to do with me. Like, dude, no is the beginning of the sale. We use words as defense mechanisms. People say no. Sometimes they say no because they don't want it. Most of the time they say no because they're trying to protect themselves. So I'm like, look, dude, no is just the beginning. And so you haven't developed some new relationship with the way that you process information that doesn't sit well with you. I can spot you. They're spotting your leadership every step of the way. They're looking at you, seeing how you move when you don't get what you want, when your expectations are met, when you go into your house and you say something to your kids and your wife and all that other kind of stuff. Like, they're spotting you. And the thing is that you think it's just about the outcome, and it's not. It's about how you show up in your leadership at all times. And of course we all falter. Of course we all fail. And the question is how quickly can you turn and shift back into the awareness? So self-awareness is about your own level of personal self-leadership and the way that you show up in every situation across the board. Because that's what people are witnessing. Like half of y'all got services and products and toodles and hoots to all of you. People ain't buying your service and your product. They're buying your leadership. I'm complete.
Say that again, my brother. Please repeat that for me, please. That was damn.
For sure, man. Without question, that they are not buying your service or your product. They're buying your leadership. Component of your leadership is your compassion. It's your planning. It's your foresight. It's the way that you curate an experience, the beginning, the middle, and the end and beyond. Is whether you give a shit about people when they exit whatever it is process you have them going through. Like, those are components of your leadership. And so the thing is that by not being in a space where you are able to level up your game, like by people who are helping you to raise the bar, like you are losing out on millions of dollars.
Wow. That was so good. That was so good. When you were talking, it reminded me of this weekend. So we get to the house at the Airbnb, and I got chosen to be in the small room. Everybody else had the big rooms, and I got the room with no closet. And I was pissed. And the energy, you could feel the energy off me. And I took a step back. I got quiet for a second, and I went inside. And I'm a natural server. I'm a service person. My love language is acts of service. So I'm going to roll up my sleeves and I'm going to cook. I'm going to do all this. But I let it go. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just enjoy the weekend. At least I have a bed to sleep in. So at the end, they had so much food and liquor, bottles left over. I live in Florida. We're here in Florida. Guess who got all the food and liquor and stuff? But so what you say, I resonate with that about, it's not going to be perfect because you will make a mistake. You will get into that feeling, but it's how you navigate it in the result. So thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for sharing that. That's real.
That's real.
For sure.
Awesome
man.
stuff. Well, listen, we have the inspiration injection, so we'd love you if you so desire to share your poem with us. I think it was called, I believe it was the N-word. And if you're open, man, we'd love to have you share that poem as an inspiration injection as we take this out, man. And we've been so grateful to have you here. You've dropped so much nuggets. You've called us to arms. You've really positioned us in what it truly means to step up in our leadership and put our crowns back on and really commit with levels of integrity. So we honor you for that. So yeah, we'd love to have you share that poem with us, my brother. And yeah, definitely really heart level to that, man. Wow, I mean, I'm not even kidding right now. My spirit is like feeling the need to shine, to be seen, to be heard, to impact more just from your discussion tonight. So let's do this, man. Let's do this.
I appreciate that, man. Without question, it is definitely heart level. So heart to heart, I respect all y'all, and thank you for creating the space for this conversation. Again, it's really, really powerful for y'all to be in this space with each other, and I deeply, deeply honor it. So just to give a really quick context to this, I posted something on Facebook, and a friend of mine messaged, and he was just like, yeah, what's up, my N-word? And he just kept, he put that in the comments. He just said it like 2 or 3 times in the comments. And I saw it, and I was like, I didn't like it. And it's funny, I reached out to him on Instagram because that's where he's more active. And I said, yo, could you delete I didn't want to censor him. I didn't want to delete it. So I was like, yo, could you just delete the comment? Like that's not a powerful representation of me. And it's not a powerful representation. And then I was like, oh shit, I've been complicit in this. I've been complicit in it and just like saying it and everything like that. And I was like, the thing is that word exists on a subconscious level. It exists on the, like the subconscious area. It's just something that we say. And so when I started to write the piece, I was like, I got to say something as an artist, as a person who is a writer. I was like, I got to say something. So I wrote a piece. And after I wrote the piece, I was like, I shared it with a few people and they were like, yo, this is intense. And I was like, oh, I can't do nothing with this. I was like, I can't do nothing with this. I was like, because if I do something with this, I was like, it's going to make the people who it needs to impact the most mad at me. And then I was like, oh, I got to do something with it. And so this is sort of at the beginning of this run. So I've been in conversations with national radio stations. We're going to make this a component of a national speaking tour, and along with some of the other stuff that I do. But definitely this piece is a cornerstone. And the workshop series we're doing is called Strong Black Men. And so this piece will end up being this, and my intention is to be performing this at the NAACP Image Awards and the BET Awards next year. So, along with other things, but to make it as much of an impact piece as it possibly can. So I'll just perform it for y'all right now. So, my brothers, before we get into any discussion, I'm taking a second to let you know that I love you. You are Earth's original peoples, capable of anything, and your reflection, the essence of a king. That's why in this moment I am still conflicted, self-restricted from using a single word because of the pain it's inflicted. This word is a virus bubbling up inside us, a word that we reverse, but in reverse is where it guides us, and I guess that's what surprises me. That's why I'm triggered when a brother who loves his brother is calling his brother a nigga. You called your brother a nigga? You called your brother a nigga? Would you call your mother a nigga? Nah, I didn't figure. And the fact that you won't use it on the one that gave you birth is what makes the explanation that it's harmless even worse. If it's such a loving term Black people have accepted, Why won't you use the term with the woman you respected? I mean, I've been a lot of places. There may be something I'm forgetting, but I've never seen it used at a wedding. Eyes locked, holding hands with your significant other. Would you say the N word to inspire your baby's mother? Tell your daughter you love her. Tell your grandmother and grandfather that this is the freedom of yours they fought for. It's fine, because we say it all the time. They called us niggas while picking cotton. You want your cotton picking mine? And best believe I used to use it. I said it with ease. On second thought, dog, I abused it. I had a disease. I told brothers that we should lose it. Brothers disagreed. I said it's a term of endearment. They be like, nigga, please. So I'm calling my brothers niggas, not calling my niggas brothers. Hold up. Why's the only time we niggas with each other? Brother to brother, are you afraid others will judge you if when you see me, instead of nigga, you just said I love you? And it's a complicated history from movies, music to comedy. Black entertainers said the word with love and affection, but it's become a mystery because through movies, music, and comedy, other races abuse turn black wounds into an infection, and we fight for the right to say it. But we're not fighting for a future that determines if it's really right to say it. And who am I to say it now? Who am I to bring it up? Who's this nigga asking those niggas to give it up? I am. One of your brothers is the reason I'm invited. I am. A man that speaks the truth even if you don't like it. I am. Aware the transformation happens in stages. The first step is the awareness there's no benefit to say it. Screw acceptance. We go from it's okay to it's outrageous. Because they call brothers niggas before they lock them up in cages. They call black fathers niggas so they can't make better wages. So I'm only using words that bridge a brother to its greatness. My camera was broken, but now I get the picture. There's a much bigger audience using the word nigga. So when I say brothers, it's brothers of all persuasions. My brothers, black and Latinos, from Caucasian to Asian, in every city and state, every country and continent. The N-word is a problem all over the friggin' place. And words like nigga live in all genders, races, religions. A word you may feel is freedom for someone else is a prison. So what I'm trying to teach you is a lesson I was given. The words that you choose, words you abuse. The words that you use create the world that you live in. Nigga means ignorant. It doesn't make us better men. Can't put it at the end of your name to go practice medicine. It doesn't make you richer, healthier, or blacker. It does not improve the chances of making Black lives matter. And if Black lives matter, my niggas, here's what I'm asking. Why would I call you nigga when your righteous name is black man? Originals, brothers, sophisticated or gutter. I am only using words that will show my brother I love you. And the love runs so deep, I am willing to take this stand for the brothers that will sit and try to make me the villain. I'm the tattoo remover, here to get it off your chest. It'll sting a little bit. Brothers, this is my request. I am asking you to rethink your words. Not calling you out. I am calling you for words. Stop using the word nigga. And what to call your brother other than the N-word is only one thing. If that man's really your brother, only thing that you should call him is a king.
Hey, woo! Fire, 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 fire.
Gentlemen, I shall return to my penmanship.
Listen, I'm sitting here, I'm realizing, like, yo, real talk. I remember in my 20s, all I did was commute what I want in the world through poetry. And because I started writing books, I kind of got away from that. But I'm inspired to go write something tonight.
Rap, brother.
Oh man, I feel hot. I don't know about y'all. I really feel the fire in me really burning right now.
By the way, I agree. I agree with all that. I grew up on hip hop from a small little island called Haiti. It was a thing for us back then when we were a kid growing up. And then when you came to understand, when you became a man, you were like, okay, yeah, we need to stop that. So I my brother, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Appreciate that,
awesome.
man.
That was powerful. I mean, words lead like bricks, man, just building a building and stopping us from using things that don't get us over into the world that we need to create, man.
That's exactly it. I'm like, why would I call you the N-word when I should be calling you an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
You'll most likely go in an exploration of that. Like, why would I call you that when I should be calling you a father?
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather you explore that than need to explore, you know what I'm saying? But the complicitness in who we allow ourselves to be shows up everywhere. Again, the situation I was living in those were consequences of me being complicit in my own self-destruction. So the thing is that will you choose to curate and create a life where you are using language that lifts you to where you need to be and that invites people to lift them up to where they need to be as well?
Mhm.
Love it. As we say, as some cultures would say, namaste is the word, right? To recognize the God that is in me, that is in you.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Oh man.
I think, and as a person who you said dictionary. I've been reading the dictionary since I was in single digits, right?
Hmm.
I've always, and I used to have a thesaurus. So when I started writing poetry, I was given a thesaurus to find other ways. So I'm always been that person to use the language and try to use the veracity of the different words, opposed to just sticking to one single way of doing it.
Yeah.
And for me, I could be honest with you. I'm not on the complete get rid of it, but I'm on that space of we need to educate ourselves on the word, because that's what's lacking. And what I truly agree with everything you says is a million words we could say better. It's a million ways we could address either, and that cannot be disputed. So personally, I truly appreciate art piece, and I'm feeling real warm right now.
I appreciate that, man, for sure. Without question.
So listen. You know, we honor and respect your time, my brother, and the love that you have shown in giving us more value beyond the hour. You know, speaks to that CCI, that commitment, integrity. And I want you to know we see you. Thank you for your willingness to be seen, and we see you, and we honor you for being an example and speaking your truth so that we could shine, right? So that we could also shine, and we're gonna take what you shared tonight and continue to bless men in the community, continue to grow, and we certainly want to have you back, man. We want to see how we can run together as a community and have you continue to do your work, uplift more lives, and have us be a channel for your own gift, right? So King Street, we honor you, my brother. We honor you, right? So and we're gonna say heart level to that. Heart level. Beautiful stuff. So Lamont, why don't you go ahead and take us out, man? I mean, I've said enough. I'm full right now. I mean, I've been fed. I'm full, and I want to give you the space to kind of take us out and honor King Street as we depart the show tonight, man.
Yeah, this was a great show. I think this is probably one of our longest running shows in the history of us doing this show. So thank you for being here. Thank you for saying yes. And we appreciate you. And like we always say in Confidence Factor, I just drew a blank. Whatever you do.
Whatever you do,
whatever you do, make sure whatever you do, make sure you keep it
heart level.
We'll see you guys next week.
Heart level. All right.